Some stories are too strange to be fiction, and too terrifying to forget. Tonight we dive into the shadows, where whispers turn into screams, and reality blurs with nightmare. These are not just tales to scare you. They're warnings, left behind by those who never made it out. So turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and whatever you do, don't look behind you. Story 1. The Spring Break Cabin, Extended Version. This happened during spring break in 2019. I was a college junior, and instead of doing the typical wild beach trip, my friends and I wanted something quieter, more get away from everything kind of vibe. My friend Caleb mentioned his uncle had a cabin up in the Appalachian Mountains. No neighbors for miles, no cell service, just woods. It sounded perfect. So me, Caleb, James and Marcus packed up and made the drive out. The cabin was rustic but cozy. Fireplace, some old furniture, one bathroom, and 2 bedrooms we shared. We got in late that first night, unpacked, lit a fire, and just chilled. It was nice to be off the grid. Nothing weird happened the first day and night. We hiked, cooked, and drank a little by the fire pit outside. It was on the second night that things started to feel off. Around 1:30 a.m., we were inside playing cards and listening to music on a Bluetooth speaker. I remember James suddenly turning his head toward the window and saying, "Did you guys hear that?" We paused the music. For a few seconds there was nothing. And then we all heard it. Knock, knock. 3 slow, spaced out knocks on the window behind the kitchen table. The weird thing was, this particular window faced the woods. No porch, no light, just trees and darkness. We all stared at each other for a few seconds, trying to decide who was going to check it out. I grabbed my flashlight and slowly walked over. When I shined it out the window, I didn't see anything. We figured maybe it was a branch in the wind, but it hadn't been windy all day. Still, we let it go. Then about 15 minutes later, more knocking. This time on the opposite side of the cabin. Again 3 slow knocks. Now we were all spooked. Marcus and Caleb grabbed a couple of kitchen knives, and we went outside together. I walked the perimeter with the flashlight, and that's when James suddenly whispered, "Dude, someone's by the trees." I panned the light toward where he was pointing, and about 30 feet away, standing behind a tree, was a man. He wasn't moving, just standing there, like he'd been watching us the whole time. He was wearing a dark hoodie, with the hood up. I couldn't make out his face, just the silhouette. We bolted back inside and locked the doors. For the rest of the night, we took turns staying awake, watching the windows. No one slept. In the morning we found boot prints in the mud outside. They circled the cabin, not just near the windows, but right under the bedroom windows too. One window, the one I had looked through earlier, had muddy smears across the glass, like someone had rested their forehead or hands against it while watching us. We left immediately. On the drive back we didn't even talk much, just kept checking behind us in the mirrors. A few weeks later, Caleb's uncle said he found cigarette butts and a worn-down blanket deep in the woods behind the cabin, like someone had been camping out, watching. Story 2. The Airbnb in Miami, Extended Version. Spring Break 2022. I was 20 at the time, and a group of 6 of us, all girls, booked a week-long stay in Miami. We found this super nice Airbnb right by the beach. It was a high-rise condo on the 12th floor, modern building, key fob access, 24-hour doorman. Felt totally safe. The first few days were what you'd expect. Tanning, drinking, going to clubs, taking a million pictures. Everything felt normal, until the 3rd night. We had gone out partying, and came back around 3 a.m., totally exhausted. I remember walking into the condo, and immediately noticing the balcony door was cracked open. It was just barely slid open, like someone forgot to close it all the way. It gave me a weird feeling, but we were all a little drunk, so I assumed someone just went out for air before we left. I shut it and locked it, deadbolt and all. About an hour later, I was half asleep in the shared bedroom when I heard it. Click, slide, the unmistakable sound of the balcony door opening again. I sat straight up in bed. I whispered to my friend Ashley and asked if she had gone out there. She shook her head. We both got out of bed and slowly crept toward the living room. That's when we saw Brittany, another girl in our group, standing in the hallway, looking terrified. She whispered, "There's someone in the living room." At first I didn't believe her, until I peeked around the corner, and sure enough, standing in the dim light from the microwave clock, was a man, just standing there, inside the Airbnb, in the middle of the living room. He wasn't moving, wasn't saying anything, just watching. Ashley screamed, and the man suddenly turned and sprinted toward the door. He didn't fumble or hesitate. He knew exactly where it was. We called 911 immediately. Cops were there within 10 minutes. Turns out, the guy had climbed up from a lower balcony. Security cameras showed him scaling the building like some kind of urban climber. He had gloves on and a box cutter tucked in the waistband of his pants. Even scarier, he had been spotted on surveillance outside the building 2 nights before, hanging around near the dumpsters watching people come and go. He'd probably been watching us. The officers said he was linked to 2 other break-ins in the area, always targeting Airbnbs rented by young tourists, usually girls. He'd wait until they were out partying, then sneak in and hide until everyone was asleep. In one of the cases, he had taken pictures of the girls while they were sleeping. The Airbnb was taken off the platform after that week. I haven't stayed in one since.